Hello, scruff-tards, rejects, and random weirdos online. Welcome back to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And time for a late update, an update that will more than likely infuriate and upset all the Vatniks and pro-Russians out there, because it appears as if we have a Glushkovo Blitz going on in Kursk. So here we have the Noel reports map. I just found out that this was a thing today. That's how updated I am. Anyway, so here they are detailing a bit more about what's going on here with the Ukrainian incursion into the Glushkovo Rayon, the Glushkovo County in Kursk Oblast, west of the Russian counterattack out of Koronevo towards Snagost. And as you can see, they have a bit more detailed map where the Ukrainian forces have pushed on. They pushed up this way along a railroad, they followed a country highway up here, and apparently they're also trying something over here for some reason. But very interesting. So we're going to zoom in and take a look at just what exactly is happening here. And zooming in, here you have Veseloye, a small town, and a small village right outside of Veseloye. And here you can see the highway, country road, moving all the way up to the town of Glushkovo itself, that the county is named after. So we can see that Ukraine, they crossed the border down here. We've seen some images of how they have pushed through dragon teeth, mine clearing vehicles pushed through some minefields or cleared a path through potential minefields. Then we can see how the Ukrainians reached the highway and used it to push up to the small village and this small town of Veseloye. And I've reported on this in my previous video earlier this day, where we had Andrew Perpetua showing the incursion here, and ISW also updated their map showing that Ukraine had indeed pushed a couple of kilometers into Russia, into Glushkovo Rayon, into the Glushkovsky Rayon, even the Glushkovo County. So this was confirmed earlier today, and Noel reports slightly more detail on how the Ukrainians have been moving with this incursion. And zooming in a bit, here we have, what's it called? Ubukovka, the small village, Ubukovka, outside of the town of Veseloye. Here you have Noel reports the extent of the Ukrainian incursion. And taking a look, it should be something like this on the satellite image. They've pushed up through this area here, right outside the outskirts here of Ubukovka, at this street here, and that turn northward here. So this is where Ukraine is at the moment. They reached the village of Bukovka, and they are just outside the town or larger village of Veseloye. And so let's take a look where this is in comparison to Glushkovo. Well, here we have it. Ukraine is 8 kilometers in a straight line, at least, from the outskirts of Glushkovo, the town itself of Glushkovo, the capital of Glushkovo County. Well, I think it's safe to say that Ukraine intends to follow the country highway all the way up to Glushkovo once they've secured Veseloye. So they pushed in here at Novi Put, through the dragon teeths, reached the highway, followed the highway, and they are now at Bukovka. They are about to push into Veseloye, and from here, this will probably become a forward base of operations. They will probably spread out to secure the border town to the west here as well. But from Veseloye, they will establish a forward base of operations, more than likely, and then continue pushing along the highway, securing this farm here until they will reach Glushkovo. And this threat is real. So this will not be a walk in the park. I assume Russia will allocate forces to prevent this push from happening. But if the Ukrainians are quick about it, they may actually pull off something similar to what the Russians did at Snagost when they pushed quickly out of Koronevo with armor and reached Snagost. If the Ukrainians are fast and quick about it, they could push through Veseloye, relying on potentially light-wheeled APCs that are really fast and can move at speed along paved roads, such as a highway. I mean, they could reach Glushkovo tonight or sometime during tomorrow morning if Russia is not fast enough to redeploy forces to the area. But I think Russia is pulling troops from the front line and making sure that Ukraine will not be making this move unopposed. Interestingly enough, Noel reports has nothing on Tetkino. We have this push at Tetkino that took place at the same time as this, reported by ISW, and as we can see, it's also showing on Andrew Perpetuo's map. Not sure why Noel Reports has not put that on their map, but never mind. This appears to be happening as well. Infantry has pushed in to this border town of Tetkino, as indicated by Andrew Perpetua and as reported by the ISW team. So that means we have Ukrainians pushing in over here as well, and here you can see the correlation with the push at towards the town. I just forgot about the town. Anyway, Veseloye, was it Veseloye? Anyway, so these things are happening at the moment west of the Russian counterattack over in Kursk. So very interesting. A lot of things is going on, and tomorrow morning and the entire next day tomorrow will probably allow us to get even more updates on what's going on. We will see Russians moving along, trying to contain this. Ukrainians trying to push the advantage, having taken the Russians by surprise and what have you. So tomorrow and so Saturday and Sunday will be extremely interesting and probably also eventful in terms of this incursion here and what's going on over here as well. So it would appear as if we have a Glushkovo Blitz in full swing at the moment. Ukraine pushed through here. They pushed up to this small town here, and they are now 8 kilometers from Glushkovo, and they have a highway that they can follow all the way to this larger settlement of Glushkovo. And I mean, they wouldn't do this unless it was with the full intention of making a thunder run, a full-on blitz all the way to Glushkovo. I think this is what Ukraine will try and achieve at the moment, unless Russia can allocate manpower to prevent it from happening. At the same time, they're also pushing in at Tetkino, so we'll see if that is a proper push to try and take the town, or if they're just tying up forces to deny Russia to move troops from Tetkino to support Glushkovo. So very interesting, and I believe that we are seeing a Ukrainian attempt at a thunder run towards Glushkovo to take the Russians by surprise, moving in along this highway here and making a dash, a bold dash straight at Glushkovo, just like we saw Russia do here at Koronevo towards Snagost. And yeah, they are only 8 kilometers away, and if the Russians aren't quick about it, Ukraine could reach Glushkovo tonight or sometime during tomorrow morning. Russia really needs to address this. They need to move fast, and they need to pull troops, more than likely, from the front line to defend Glushkovo. Because if they don't, and Ukraine pulls this off, Ukraine could potentially secure an area something like this, with this push, as you can see here along this highway, and they can reach the same river, and that means they are isolating this part of Glushkovo County. And then, if you have any Russians in this area, especially if they're left in Tetkino, I mean, it's only a matter of time before Ukraine can move in and secure this entire area, grabbing it from Russia and occupying it. And the Russian troops over here will be in trouble as well, because all of a sudden they can't get reinforcements or supplies from the pontoon bridges that may be still in working condition over here in the area. So that means these troops will only be resupplied through this narrow corridor here along any potential bridges that are still up and running. So it will be difficult for Russia to provide supplies to the forces fighting here if their only means of being resupplied is along this narrow corridor up here. So, I mean, Russia really needs to deny Ukraine any chances of making this a possibility. They have to pull forces from the front line to secure Glushkovo. Otherwise, this Ukrainian blitz out of nowhere will provide real problems for Russia. Russia will lose control of this part of Glushkovo County, and this front line here will be in trouble, because it will be really difficult for Russia to resupply and support the forces fighting down here if Ukraine manage to reach Glushkovo. So there you have it. The Glushkovo Blitz appears to be in full swing. Ukraine is making a bold flanking maneuver, heading straight for the town of Glushkovo behind Russian lines, and Russia needs to address it. And I'm assuming that they are. I'm assuming they are moving troops into position to prevent Ukraine from reaching Glushkovo as we speak. Not much else to add. We're going to have to wait and see what happens tomorrow, and we're going to have to wait to see what happens over the weekend. But it's going to be an interesting 48 hours, would be my guess, to see how this develops. So, yeah, I hope you found it interesting. I hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, go på marsch, Ukraine. Give them hell.